Hello, and welcome to the We Believe in Freedom Monday night team call. We're so glad that you had a chance to stop in and listen to this evening. It is October 28, 2019. Gosh, it's almost close to the end of the year. And just a couple of things to make this call go really smoothly. So mute yourself, so this way you can unmute when you want to talk. But if you do have any questions or comments, we have this really handy feature. It's a chat feature at the bottom of your window there. So you can click on that, and if you want to have a question or a comment, place it there. Now, I'm Ariana Munker, and I'm speaking to you from my home in Hollywood, California. And we gather once a week to share inspiration, motivations, success stories, and this is also that you can thrive and really live the life you've always dreamed of. And I will tell you though, every time we have this call, it is an honor, and each one of us experience our own version of it, but it's my honor today to introduce to you to the woman who actually is the reason we have these calls. She's an Isagenix, a Legacy Club member, and 8-star platinum, oh, shakes my head, 6-star crystal executive, and really all that means is she's brought her personal mission of giving people the opportunity to make a difference in the world and to live a long and healthy life while doing so. So it is my pleasure to hand the call over to the amazing Kathy Helwig.
Oh, thank you, Ariana. That was wonderful. You always make me feel so special. Well, gosh, first of all, I'm going to start with announcements, and we have a big one coming up. You might have seen my little teaser on the business group. We've got 2 new products coming out in November, sometime in the next week or 2. Don't know exact dates yet. But one of them is a CBD oil with peppermint. Now, what this is not something that you ingest. It's something that you'll put on your skin. So, for various reasons, and you'll learn more about it because they do have a what do they call it, the thing that they put out that has all the information about it. And we also have a bone broth, collagen bone broth, and that's something they're saying that we can even have on cleanse days. So that's exciting. I can't wait to try that. Anyway, oh, toolkit. Thank you, Teresa. So we will have toolkits for both of those products. We also will have a new holiday gift catalog, and that'll probably have additional products in it, or packs, or promotions and stuff like that. So that'll come out sometime in November. So look for that. So this past weekend, I attended a training it just blew my mind. Just such great new information, not the same old stuff that we've heard over and over, but new ideas and new strategies. And I'm going to share with you one of those strategies, and it has to do with networking events. So let me share my screen. All right. So we're going to talk about networking principles, right? There's really a finesse to networking when you're going to an event, and I've been all over the place with networking events where I've stumbled and fallen, and just it's a skill that you want to develop. And what I'm going to do is give you some tips on how to really develop great skills for networking. Because here's the thing, we all need to increase our circle of influence. We want to surround ourselves with people, with influential people. And the only way to do that is to get out there and network with people. And so just in the last 6 months or so, I've just been doing a lot of networking and meeting a lot of people. And I see the value of it, if for nothing else, but to make new friends. And I've made a lot of new friends, and I've had a real mind shift around networking as well, where in the past I've gone to networking events and my sole outcome that I wanted to have was to make a sale. Well, that was all about me. So this is going to, and I did have recently a mind shift change of no, this is about them. I'm going to just go and I'm going to make new friends. Okay. So that's kind of the mindset shift change that you want to have. And so we're going to learn some new skills tonight. You ready? So the first thing you want to do is be prepared. You want to dress the part. You know, business casual is a safe way to go. But if it's something like a luncheon or, you know, something where you want to take it up a notch, then be prepared to do that, you know. And business casual can look a whole lot of different things. Just be mindful. And the first time you go to one, you'll be able to look around and see, oh, that's business casual. Some of you already know this. Here's a little tip that I had never heard before, and that is to carry a Sharpie. Now, you know how some people's business cards have the shiny, glossy surface? And I like to, after I meet somebody and I've got their card in hand, there's something I want to remember about them, but I can't write on their card. Number one, it's not really big enough, but the Sharpie will give me an opportunity to turn the card over and be able to write notes. Basically, you want to kind of create a code for yourself. Maybe if this is somebody that you really want to get to know more and can really, you can help them and they can help you, you might put a smiley face on it, right? Or a star, but create a code for yourself. If it's somebody that, I don't know if this is the type of person I'm really looking for, you could put a kind of, not a smiley face, a face with like a line across or something. But create a code for yourself so that when you come home, go away from that event with all these cards, you've got a pretty good idea of who you want to continue that relationship with and who you don't, right? One other tip, if you're talking to somebody and you decide, this really isn't my ideal influencer that I want to attract, you can switch the subject or end that encounter just by saying, you know what, I gotta pee. So another thing is, don't take your own business cards, and I'll tell you why. Your phone is going to be your best asset. You'll be able to say, you know what, I didn't bring any business cards, but you have a card? Great. And then what you do is you take a selfie. Take a selfie with them and say, you know what, let me send you this picture, and would you mind putting your phone number in my phone for me? Great. And then when you get home, put that on Facebook and say something about that person that you liked. Promote them in some way. Maybe it's an insurance agent. You can say, this is my new friend, Julie. She's a fabulous insurance agent. She takes really good care of her clients. Put that on Facebook and you have a new friend. You just promoted them, right? So if you're going to like a luncheon or something where you know there's going to be a speaker, do your homework about that speaker. Google them. Find out more about them. Find out what they're going to be talking about. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So once you've arrived, you want to arrive early. There's an advantage to being there early. You can actually get connected with the organizer or the promoter of the event. You might even be able to talk to the speaker ahead of time. I went to an event about 3 weeks ago. It was in kind of an office space, and I was mistaken about the time. I wrote the wrong time on my calendar, and I arrived 30 minutes early. And the organizers they were still getting things ready, putting food out and all of this. And I said, well, that's okay. Let me help you. And they said, oh, that would be great. Would you mind running down the street to get a bag of ice? I said, no problem. I went and got their ice. I just raised their opinion about me, their first opinion about me, a few notches, right? because I was a big help to them. Be the greeter for people. There might not even be an organized greeter, and maybe there is, but regardless, be a greeter. Stand by the door, shake people's hands as they come in the door, ask them their name. Just you kind of get what do you call it? A first crack at them, So be the greeter. I suggest not drinking alcohol. Now, what's one of the main reasons why people like to drink alcohol? Because it gives them confidence, right? I'm guilty. I tell you, I went to this event Saturday morning, and I had my first Bia drink. I drank the whole can, and I'm not a caffeine drinker. I got there, and my energy was so high, and not the kind Colorado high. My energy was so high, and my clarity was so strong all day long. I could not believe how on I was all day. And so utilize our products. Maybe it's the Ionic Supreme that would help you feel more on, but utilize it. Once you get there, you want to assess the room. It might be a big room where there's lots of tables, or it might be a smaller room where everybody's sitting around one table. Just kind of do an assessment of, okay, where do I want to be? Who are the people who are here? Who looks like the most influential person that I want to meet, right? And understand that your purpose for being there is you're going to be auditioning people for your circle of influence. Okay? So who's the influencer? You. You are the influencer. You want to be the influencer in the room. Okay? That's the mindset you want to have. So it's about connecting people together. I went to an event, oh gosh, it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember the first person I met was a man who's a publisher. And about 5 minutes later, I met a woman, not standing more than 5 feet away from him, who shared with me that she's a writer and she's looking for work. Well, guess who I put together? The publisher and the writer. Now, I don't know if anything ever panned out, but I was being of service to them by connecting them together, right? You want to use form. Now, for some of you might not know what that extra F is for, but it's one of the most important parts of the formula. Form is talk about family or occupation, recreation, and money or message or motivation. But the first F is where are you from? So another encounter I had over the weekend, I was talking to a woman who has a brick and mortar business here in town. And, any more these days, most people they move into your town from another place. Most people do. I would say 80% of the population. And so one of the first question I asked her was, so where are you from? And she told me, I'm from Washington State. And I said, great. So what brought you to Colorado Springs? And she went into an explanation that revealed something that was a huge common ground between the two of us. I mean, so huge that it was emotional, okay? That story would have never come up if I hadn't said, what brought you to Colorado Springs? So just start to be creative in how you connect with people and the questions you ask them. Because you don't have to go right away into, so what do you do? Get connected with them first, right? What you want to do is identify and speak to at least 5 people of high influence that you've identified, okay? The organizer is the first one. The speaker, if there is one, is the second one. And then find 3 more of the, most energetic, well-dressed, most respected. You can tell when they're respected because a lot of people know them, they talk to them. And so you want to know them too. And so those are the people that you want to connect with. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Oh, you know, one of the biggest reasons that you want to be connected to the organizer is you want to be in their back pocket. You know, the organizer has more influence than anybody else in the room. Would you agree? Yeah. And so, yeah, well, anyway, that's kind of the point. You want them to see you as an asset. Okay. All right. So the next thing is your 30-second commercial. If it's that type of a networking event, kind of like BNI is, where everybody goes around the table and shares their story, you want to be in the position in the room or at the table where you will be the last one to share. And here's the reason. You ever been to an event and somebody says, okay, well, let's start, you start. you're the first one. All of a sudden, fight or flight goes in, panic sets in. You go, oh my gosh, what do I say? Oh my gosh, I don't know exactly what to say. And so, you know, the first person, chances are they're going to kind of flub their story, their 30-second commercial. And then the next person to them is probably already, while that person is flubbing it, the next person is going, what am I going to say? Oh my gosh. So they're in a panic mode too, and they never heard what the first person said. And the third person is also in that same place. You know, it just kind of goes down the line. We all do it. We all go, okay, what am I going to say? You know, that's one reason why you really want to be prepared with what you want to say. But if you go last, everybody's gone through their panic attack. They're more relaxed. They're now listening, right? But here's a real interesting strategy that I heard. When it comes to your turn, you can say something real short and sweet about what you do. Like, hi, I'm Kathy Helwig, and I just love helping people. But what I really want to do is I want to share with you about Julie. She's an incredible insurance agent. So what you're doing is you're promoting somebody else in your 30 seconds. But that's somebody else. You want to be strategic about who it is. Maybe the organizer doesn't really get an opportunity to do a lot of networking during the event, right? So what if the organizer heard me promoting them instead of my own? You know, you just made a huge new friend, a highly influential friend. So be strategic about that. So I already said, make the organizer or the promoter think of you as an asset, not a liability. And just remember the law of reciprocity. When you give, you get. So you'll know, people just naturally will want to help you. And this is something I experienced this weekend at this event that I was at. As I got to know people, and I was taking selfies with them, and I was posting them on Facebook, and you know, it was just a whole new experience for me. So it was a lot of fun. And then what's the most important part? It's the follow-up. You didn't just go to this event just to have fun and, you know, maybe get lunch. You went to really make some new friends, but those new friends are going to forget you. You know, the rule is about 12 to 24 hours later, you want to have contacted them in some way. You want to Facebook friend them. You want to add them to your contact management system. And I hope all of you have some sort of a system where you're gathering all of these people. You can't come home with a stack of cards and expect that to be your system. You have to put them into some sort of electronic system. Of course, I use TeamZ. It's my new favorite. It's so easy. It keeps me so on track with my follow-up. And then when you're at that event, your objective is to create one-on-one appointments with those 5 top people that you've identified or more, but you want to come away with at least 5. Now, you may have actually scheduled an appointment in your encounter with them, or you may have said, hey, let's get together sometime next week. I'll give you a call or I'll text you to see what works for you, right? So within that 24 hours, you want to be taking care of setting all of those appointments. And any other people that you have cards for, get them into your system. So anyway, I think that's it. Let me stop share, and we'll see if anybody had any questions. So, okay, Marcia's asking about the new products, a special shake. I don't know anything about a new special shake. Teresa says she loves Bia. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Because I just went through a lot of information and it's probably stuff that you'd never heard before.
Kathy, I just want to share something that I've been noticing about just your space that you're in and your beingness. I know you have a mission. You want to have the world work better for everyone, and not only work better, but be healthy while you're working it and making a difference, right? But I'm noticing there's been a shift for you, and I know on some other calls people have noticed it too, and I just wanted to acknowledge you for that. You didn't stop working on yourself. You are someone who is constantly in a state of transformation yourself, and I think that the personal growth you have done over all of these years, it really does all add up eventually to a new body. I mean, really, our telomeres, right? Every 7 years we have new cells, and if we have isogenesis in our background and our shakes and stuff, and then all these beautiful new products, I will say that there is a space that you're creating. You're opening up more room for everyone else. It's just beautiful to watch.
Oh, thank you, Ariana. And I tell you, without personal growth, I would not be sitting here. I would not be leading a team. I would not have the financial success that we've had. And I would not ever have the number of friends that I have. You guys especially, you know. So personal growth for me, essential. And most of it happened in the doing. You know, I was given guidance in personal growth. I was given experiences, but without the knowledge of the books I've read, the seminars I've gone to, you know, the experiences I've had, it doesn't happen without that. You know, it just doesn't. You have to be a doer. And a beer.
Yeah, be first, do second, right? That's because the beingness, which is what you are, is causing you to have the actions kind of happen more naturally too, I've noticed.
It does. Yeah. Well, and you know, I get more comfortable with myself. I'm an introvert, but I'm a heck of a lot less of an introvert now than I was when I started with Isagenix. So Tina's got a question. If you plan to be the last person to share, but the host says, why don't we start with you? Is there a best way to handle that situation? Well, you can avoid that situation. Remember, you've arrived early. You're going to be talking to the host or the organizer. And you can say, so how do you usually do this? Do you have people share a 30-second commercial, and who usually starts it? And if you don't mind, I would love to go last. Just make the request. So, good question, Tina. And then Marcia said she loves the Sharpie idea and the selfie ideas. Me too. I don't know, if you guys go to my Facebook page, you'll see that I did a couple of selfies over the weekend. So, and it was fun, and people love it. People love to have their picture taken. They feel honored, you know?
And Kathy, that's something you can do when it's not even a network marketing event. have that Sharpie somewhere and your phone and just have fun with people.
Yep. And be sure you have a pocket for those business cards that you're collecting. So, Ariana, I know you went to an event in your neighborhood. I don't know if it was last weekend or weekend before. And you just did a live, Facebook Live while you were there.
Yeah, it was so natural. It was fun. I made 2 new friends. A woman that I never would have met if I hadn't gone out, right? So getting out is really important. We can do stuff on the computer, and being out there in the world, that's that extra 3 dimensions, I think, that adds real gravitas to just who you are as a human being. And when I went there, I met some really good new people I can't wait to have coffee with.
Yeah. It's so fun. I mean, I'm doing more one-on-ones. In fact, today people were contacting me and saying, when can we schedule that coffee or whatever we were planning on doing. So Tina says her husband found the BIA more effective than the e-shots, but Tina didn't really feel anything. And this is, we're hearing that, Tina. Are you a coffee drinker typically? Do you typically have caffeine? And because I don't, I hardly ever have caffeine. And so I'm sure that's one of the reasons why I felt such a high with it.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Maybe keep trying it, just see what happens. On Sunday, I only had half of one because Saturday night I was still buzzing. So I have to pace myself. Anybody else have an experience with the BIA?
I have. I think it's delicious. And my expectations of the BIA is that I'm getting adaptogens, I'm getting natural energy. So for me, I don't notice a dramatic shift. What I notice is I just have sustained energy. And I think if you're not necessarily aware of something, or you need kind of like a thunderbolt for it to feel different, you may not understand. You're probably lasting longer in events. You're staying up. You have more clarity, more energy, more kind of like focus here and now. So just watch for the subtleties, because our products are not like drugs. Because they're not drugs, they don't act really fast. What they do is they work in synergy with our body, and adaptogens really are what you need. So if you don't need any more energy, your body may be slowing you down with the adaptogens versus, getting that upper that you might need if you have it in the morning. So just do a little experimenting.
Yeah, maybe you've got a day where you're going to be especially busy or active. That would be a good day to try it out. So, well, I think our time is almost up. Thank you all for joining us. Let me show everybody on the screen. Awesome. Anyway, I encourage you all to find events to go to. Join meetup groups. We've got something here called PepNet. We've also got something called Polka Dots. I'd never been to Polka Dots, but I met the organizer of Polka Dots, and I'm going to that. There's eWomen for us women. eWomen is a great organization. They usually have luncheons, and there's usually a lot of people. And so look to see if you have an eWomen in your area.
I'll look. I joined a women's group that's proven to be quite exciting, because there's, I don't know, 400 or 500 women in the chapter where I live, and then it's broken down into subgroups. But it's called 3 C's, for cancer, community, and charities. And the whole concept is to earn money for local charities. But in the meantime, they have lots of subdivisions, like the bunco group, the golfing group, the choral group, the bicycle group, the gourmet group. So you can pick and choose what you want to do. I'll look to see if there's one, if it's not just in our area, because it's a fun one to do. And you meet tons of people.
Great. And Stephanie, I know Stephanie's been going to something called Master Networks. and they always have business training at those, you know. So wherever there's a mastermind or a business training, you're going to learn something, you're going to come away with something, but you're going to meet a lot of people, and that's the whole key. You want to increase your the number of prospects that you have in your back pocket. They may never buy from you, but the more they know you, you'll probably get referrals from them. And you'll definitely get referrals when they do buy from you. Timing is everything. You know, it doesn't have to happen immediately. So just be patient with it and just do what you know you need to do without being icky and selling. All right, everybody, time's up. I want you guys to have an awesome week. We've got a very snowy week here. I know Southern California and Northern California, you guys are dealing with fires and wind and power outages. And so I'll just lift all of you up in prayer and know that I love you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Night.
Thank you.